Welcome, Solara here. I hope you guys are doing well. It is Monday, the 30th of December, 9 o'clock p.m., where I am in the world. So we're about an hour and 26 minutes out from this new moon in Capricorn. I hope that, whether you celebrate the holidays or not, that you've had an opportunity in the past week or so to get some respite, some rest, that you feel rejuvenated for the final quarter of the astrological calendar year, and for the beginning of the Gregorian calendar year, which begins in a little over 24 hours, right? So this is a very interesting new moon and the energy surrounding it. Before I get into it, I just want to take the opportunity to say I am sorry, to apologize to you all for not giving you a full moon in Gemini reading. For those of you who follow me on not on Substack anymore, but on my new platform, solarah.xyz, then you'll know that the last few months of this year have been really a little bit unsettling for me. And there's been beautiful things in the midst of it also. A lot of extreme beauty and extreme chaos that somehow is now finding its perfect harmonious note. So things have been a little bit crazy for me. So my sincerest apologies. If ever you want to keep in contact with me and what it is I'm doing, I will always be posting on my platform, solarah.xyz. And there's a lot of free content over there, as well as different tiers of membership. And come 2025, the offerings over there are going to be expanding as I pull my energy away from these social media platforms that are really just fancy schmancy energy harvesting, outlets. So I will still be showing up here, but minimally. But you can catch me in full bloom over on solarah.xyz. So please make sure to find your way over there, become a member. You won't get anything from me unless you sign up for various newsletters. But you will be included in general updates, etc., and you'll have the option to opt into things that are going on there that are free. So or join me as a member and check out the perks over there too. Okay, so new moon in Capricorn, second new moon in Capricorn of 2024. So we opened 2024 with the first moon of the year was a new moon, and it was in Capricorn. It occurred on January the 11th of this year, and now we are closing out the year with a new moon in Capricorn on the 30th. And not for nothing, January the 11th, that is the 111 gateway, right? One of them in the month. And today on the 30th of December, we are at a 3-3 portal. Okay, so 30 is 3, 12 is 3, 3-3 portal, and you can break it down all the way 3-3-8. We're at a 3-3-8 portal today. So we're closing out something that has a lot to do with our own level of mastery, our own level of ascended mastery. I'd go so far as to say I am of the belief that we all have the ability and the propensity to be able to tap into our ascended mastery. And we do that by way of our ascending sign or our rising sign, also known as your Aries energy, which is your first house. This is the energy you must tap into that will open the door to your ascended mastery. I won't go too much into that right now, but I will say that this is of significance because as we go into this new moon tonight, the nodes, the North and the South node in Aries and Libra, they're coming to their time of closure. The nodes will switch into Pisces and Virgo on January the 29th, just a few hours before the new moon in Aquarius at 9 degrees, which is very interesting. So we have the nodes switching out into a new position, and then the new moon in Aquarius coming in on January the 29th, and we are therefore entering into a new age, a new age that's going to begin to materialize rapidly. We've been dealing with a lot of the energy of the age of Aquarius, predominantly on the spiritual, mental, and emotional planes. Right? The old spiritual stories that kept the false matrix alive were dying, but then came the awakening in our minds, our mentality, and then the healing of the wounds, the emotional body, that have made this moment possible now, where we are going to start to materialize in our reality on individual and a collective level the new Earth timelines. So it's very exciting. It's been very, very constricting. A constricting time, especially for many of you over the past few months. I was talking about this in August around the 888 portal, about how the energy between that portal, which occurred in Leo season and Scorpio season, was all about harmonizing and calibrating us for our justice timelines. I didn't know how true those words were until I went through the fuckery that I needed to go through to get me, into my true story, to break the mindsets and the beliefs that were still keeping me playing small. And for many of you, I'm sure it was the same, different scenarios, same energy, right? So Leo and Virgo season was very, very big for bringing in like sucker punches, right? To get right with your power is really what it came down to. And I'm mentioning this because it's all been in preparation for what began to unfold in Sagittarius season this year. So if you cast your mind back to like maybe, a month or 6 weeks ago, Sagittarius season, you may have felt a shift in the energy, in the sense that a lot of the crazy heavy densities still there, still very present, but you might have started noticing more glimmers of new timelines, more, like crumbs of what's to come. Even though it didn't fully materialize, you could see the momentum of something building at last. That was a Sagittarius season was key to beginning to open up the timelines for you to begin to experience them viscerally, if not materially in some way. Okay, now this is significant because Virgo and Sagittarius are the two signs that are going to really be the prominent energies of 2025. And why is that? Because 2025 is a number 9 year. And number 9 is an astrological degree of Sagittarius, but it's connected to the tarot, to the Hermit, which is a Virgo card. So the signs of the zodiac that are sharing their wisdom with us through 2025 are Virgo and Sagittarius. And then we have that extra Virgo energy coming in to teach us more lessons, because Virgo, the South Node will be moving into Virgo on the 29th of January. And so we will have the South Node moving through Virgo for the next 19 months. So a lot of our lessons right now are Virgoan in nature. And very interestingly enough, the past 3 new moons have also been at this 9-degree mark. So tonight we have the new moon in Capricorn happening at 9 degrees. At the beginning of the month, December 1st, so we have that bookend energy again, right? Meaning that, like I said at the beginning, we have the new moon in Capricorn kicking off the year and the new moon in Capricorn closing the year. That's a bookend new moon in Capricorn energy, right? Holding 2024 in like a sandwich, right? And then we have an interesting bookend energy occurring also in December, because we had 2 new moons in December. We have the month. The month was kicked off on the first day of the month with the new moon in Sagittarius. And we're closing out the month and the year with another new moon in Capricorn. Now, to get back to what I was saying before, the new moon in Sagittarius, and before that, in November, the new moon in Scorpio, we're all at the 9-degree mark. And tonight's new moon in Capricorn is at the 9-degree mark too. Next month, the new moon in Aquarius will be at the 9-degree mark. And I also do believe the final moon of the astrological year, will be the new moon in Pisces. And that will be occurring at 9 degrees too. Right? So a lot of 9 energy. That's 5 new moons that are occurring at the 9-degree mark. And many of the full moons have been occurring at the 24-degree mark. I think it's been 24 and 23 going back and forth, which is very interesting. I'll tell you why in a second. Let me just see this. Like, oh, I'm on the 2025 moon list. Just bear with me a second. Let me look at the 2024. So we do have this interplay of energy with the full moons, where it's been going back and forth between 24 and 23, starting with the full moon in Aries in October. So the full moon in Aries was at 24 degrees. The full moon in Taurus in November was at 24 degrees. The last full moon in Gemini was at 23 degrees. I believe the next full moon is at 24. And we have this interplay of this going back and forth with the full moons between 24 degrees and 23 degrees. But the new moons are all sitting there very, very specifically at the 9-degree mark. So what is the 24 and the 23? Why is that so significant? Well, because 24 degrees is a Piscean degree, and 23 degrees is an Aquarian degree. So we see with the full moon is anything that is being cleared out, but it's also things that are being magnified also at the same time. So we have a lot of new Aquarian themes being, magnified, and old Piscean themes being cleared out through the full moon structures that have been happening every month since Aries, since Libra season with the full moon in Aries. Okay. Now, let's take a moment, because tonight's new moon in Capricorn, like I said, it's occurring in 9 degrees. And we have 9 energy because Mercury is in Sagittarius at 18 degrees, which again is numerologically a number 9. So we got 999 energy, and then we got also Neptune is in Pisces at 27. So we got 4, planets, luminaries, however you want to, call them, the sun, the moon, Mercury and Neptune, all holding that 9 frequency, that 9 energy. So let's talk about it a little bit. Let's talk about the power and the significance of the number 9. Now, 9 is a number that denotes endings. 9 is a number that denotes newness and aloneness. Okay, I didn't mean newness, I meant aloneness. Endings, aloneness. Newness may be in a different way. We'll get into why that came up. It must have come up for a reason. But what I was consciously thinking was aloneness and endings. Okay, now 9, like I said before, is a degree astrologically of Sagittarius. 9th house energy is Sagittarian energy. But it has tarot associations to Virgo. The number 9 card, the Hermit, and you could go so far as to say the Moon card, which is the number 18 card, which traditionally is considered Piscean energy. So sister signs, Virgo and Pisces. A lot of Virgo and Pisces energy, a medicine coming through as we begin 2025. Okay, and note that the North Node is in Pisces, which is really important because we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Not everything was fucked up and terrible about the age of Pisces. We gleaned a lot, and it got us to this place. And so the North Node in Pisces is going to help us to keep intact those things of use, those things that not only provided us with wisdom, but also our wisdom is the era that the wisdom that era has produced can continue to mature. Okay, so there's no good or bad energy. It's just how you use it. There's no good or bad sign. It's just how you utilize that energy on your soul journey and how you embody it if it's a prevalent part of your energy signature. So let's get into more talk about the number 9. So the 9 energy is synonymous with the Hermit card in the tarot. And the major arcana is a map for how you move through every single major cycle in your life. Okay, it shows you those major junctures of alchemical significance where you are able to go through things with the wisdom of certain planets, numbers, zodiac signs, even constellations to get you on the next step of your own evolutionary path. Okay, so when you get to the number 9 card of the major arcana comes right before the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is the card of Jupiter. So the Hermit gets you ready to either enter through and enter into a dharmic cycle, or if you don't heed the wisdom of the Hermit, or you move in the shadowy aspects of the Hermit, then you might end up going through another karmic cycle. So 2025 is a big year of polishing. We could put it that way. It's a big year of polishing. For those of you who've actually done the deep soul work that the Hermit requires for you to enter into the Wheel of Fortune, you might find that 2025 is a year of restitution. And indeed, like I was writing about this on my platform on solarah.xyz in today's offering. It is up there. It's for free, so you can go and check it out. Today's writing. It is a throwback to the post I wrote on the 11th of January for the previous new moon in Capricorn, but a lot of very similar themes, and more importantly, the soul lesson of the Hermit is in that article. So make sure you check it out if that's something that interests you. But 2025 is the year that many of you will be restored in some way. And 2025, the main message that was coming through, it's the year we make restitution with our souls. The year we make restitution with our souls. And why is this so important when it comes to the number 9? Because the 9 energy, as expressed through Virgo, through the Hermit. Virgo is the sign on the zodiac wheel that is, I like to call it the, I can't even think right now. I can't even think of how I put it normally, but it is the energy on the zodiac wheel that teaches you how to come into union, such deep union with yourself that you are able to surrender to your own soul, to your own soul's journey, your soul's path. It's the perfecter of your soul. Virgo is the sign of the zodiac that is the perfecter of your soul. Okay, because Virgo will teach you how to integrate your divine mind and your divine heart in order to be who you are and in order to not sacrifice that. Okay, Virgo teaches you how to get into check and to be so radically honest with yourself so that when you enter into the second half of the zodiac wheel, which has to do with how you give your energy out and therefore what comes back to you in response, by the time you get into the second half of the zodiac wheel, you know how to honor yourself so you're not energy harvested or energy harvesting. So Virgo is very big on helping you to check your energy. Very big on helping you to embody your value. Your value comes through the energy of Taurus, what's in your toroidal fields. Virgo helps you to embody that, to bring forth your value on the earth planes. Right? So Virgo's a stickler for self-care. Virgo is a stickler for self-autonomy. Virgo is a stickler for being true to self, for being radically honest with self, first and foremost, for going into the deepest, darkest recesses of your soul and being real. What is it that I truly desire? What is it that my soul craves? Where am I still following programs that, bring me back maybe some form of a return, but it's not what my soul desires? For those of you who, like I said, who fuck with me over on solarah.xyz, or you were with me on Substack, you will know that I shared the story with you guys that I think it was sometime in Leo season, I had to get real with myself. And I said, listen, I am not too big to say I'm having a conversation with my soul here. I'm like, I'm not too big, my ego is not too big for me to tell you, talking to my soul, that I may not know what it takes to satisfy you. That my programming might run so deep and so unconsciously that every single thing that I've been chasing, thinking that I desire and thinking that I want, might not be it. It might not be for me. And you know how I know that? Because there were so many things that I wanted and I achieved, and they didn't satisfy me. It was momentary. It didn't last. So I said to my soul, I'm tired of this shit. Okay, I'm going to surrender to you, because I know that if I do, and I allow you to satisfy me, I allow my soul to be satisfied, that I will be satisfied in all ways. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and materially, everything I desire to feel whole, to feel good, to feel and to be in my purpose will come to be. So I had this conversation, and I felt good, like, oh, like, I've been on this walk for a while, but I still can be a little bit naive, so I forget that sometimes when you pray them prayers, everything will shift very suddenly in order to answer them. And that sure as shit is what happened to me. Everything, it's like, soul's like, oh, you're on board with me now? Okay, you go sit over there and watch me tear your life apart. And then build it back up to it again. But you sit in the corner. You sit in the corner and let me get to work. So that's kind of what I did, And I'm saying all of this because that's the Virgo energy. The Virgo energy takes us in to have those conversations where we learn to surrender to what it is that our soul desires, not what it is we've been programmed to think we want, not what it is that we think we want, but what it is that actually will satisfy us on all levels. And sometimes the thing that's going to come into your life that's going to bring you such an immense sense of satisfaction is nothing you would have ever thought you would have ever chosen for yourself. It's nothing you would have ever thought that you wanted or really needed. But when it comes, it's like it's everything. It's like you begin to have these moments where you're looking at it and you're just like, how is this even possible that everything that I could ever want is in this scenario? How is it even possible? And if left to my own devices and my own ego and my own programming, I would have let that slip by. So, and this is why this year is so important. And this is why Virgo came in to kick many of our asses this year to get us ready, because there's such prominent Virgo themes in 2025 that we needed that 3-4 months of being pulled into, this place of having to come to grips with our greatness, because that's really what Virgo tends to do. Virgo's just like, you are not going to live below your value. The 3 cards of Virgo in the minor arcana are the 8, 9, and the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, the final cards of the minor arcana. But not only that, those are the cards that everybody wants. Everybody wants the 9 and 10 of Pentacles, right? But that's established through Virgo energy. That's established through choosing things that satisfy your soul, right? When you satisfy your soul, then the material will have to follow also. And what a lot of us were taught to do is to chase the external representation of success, the material success, what looked good, what we were told was going to be good. And then many of us got to those places and we still weren't satisfied, and we couldn't figure out why. That's because for one thing, there's no map that works for everyone. So what brings deep satisfaction to one person is going to bring turmoil to the next, which is why you must follow the map within your own soul to find out what brings you satisfaction. Like I've said to people before, if you've been hanging with me, for the past, it's been 2 years now. Wow, January makes it 2 years. If you've been hanging out with me for the past 2 years, you'll know I love to say the word fuck. I love that word. From the minute I heard it at about the age of 5, I loved the way it sounded. I really loved the way it sounded, and I loved the way it rolled off of my tongue. It brings me immense joy to say the word fuck in all manner of forms. You know, it just does. But to some people, that's offensive. And I'm not here to get into whether it should be or not. It doesn't matter. If it's offensive to them, it's offensive to them. Now, I ain't going to change and stop saying fuck because it's offensive to somebody. If it's offensive, they can get out of my energy and I can move out of theirs. And we can still be cool because it's what brings me joy, but it's what brings them despair. And that's the way that everything has always worked. But we were taught to adhere to certain programs and certain moral traditions that were designed to will constantly make us feel ashamed and constantly make us follow rules that were for a collective story that they were trying to create through us, as opposed to going within and finding the personal individual story that our souls came to live out on the earth planes. And so 2025 is all about that. And the new moon in Capricorn tonight and the new moons that have occurred before have been getting us in order for that. So let's get now, we've talked about that Virgo energy, the new moon in Capricorn. I'm sorry, the nine of the theme of the number 9 year of 2025. I'll say one more thing and then we'll get into the new moon energies for tonight. So the other 9 energy is, of course, Sagittarius. And Virgo and Sagittarius actually work quite closely together. Virgo works very closely with Libra, very closely with Scorpio, very closely with Sagittarius to bring out something through Capricorn. Okay, so Virgo is very involved in the third quarter of the zodiac wheel, and you can see that more obviously when you see the glyph very specifically between Virgo and Scorpio. They share the same glyph. It's just that Virgo has the tail that is actually showing you its connection to Leo, whereas Scorpio doesn't have the tail on the M. Okay, so Virgo is very connected, I should say, to Leo energy too. Virgo pulls a lot of the first half of the zodiac into the integrating and the lessons that make the second half harmoniously possible. So Virgo, when it comes to its relationship to Sagittarius, I will always say that the two main signs on the zodiac that I personally see as being grand liberator energies, especially of self, are Virgo and Sagittarius, because Virgo tells you, go within and find out what the fuck it is you really want, and let's figure out how to map your life in such a way where that's possible. And Sagittarius says, now let's take that philosophy that Virgo helped to open you up to, let's take it out on walkabout. Let's go out into the world and live in that Virgoan energy. Let's live in accordance with who you are. Let's establish your own personal philosophy that helps you to follow your soul consistently, that helps you to stay in faith, in good faith with yourself. Right? So Virgo and Sagittarius are very big on helping you to be liberated, to be who you are on the earth planes. And Sagittarius, when you break it down, the letters down numerically using gematria, you will find it is the only sign of the zodiac that breaks down into the 144 energy. It carries the 144 frequency. Sagittarius is a final fire sign on the zodiac wheel where you get the light codes. Oftentimes they've come through the Phoenix energy of Scorpio. You get the light codes that enable you to be who you are on the earth planes as you already are cosmically, or as you are in the heavens, right? Sagittarius gives you the codes to do that. So when you think about that, you think about the Virgo energy being the perfecter of your soul, and Sagittarius energy being the ability to be who you are on heaven, on earth, as it's already written in the stars in the heavens, then you will probably see how significant 2025 is going to be for those of you who are ready to be all that you are on the planet. It's also going to be a significant year for bringing soul tribes back together, because that could only happen when we were walking in authentic truth. You cannot attract other beings who are truly on your real frequency and are a part of your soul tribe while you're still living in any form of extreme artifice. And everything in the false matrix had us living very artificially, so that we were constantly attracting in the wrong energies. Okay? And this is part of what, I call their quantum entanglement fuckery, because, quantum entanglement is real, but they use this doctrine of quantum entanglement to really fuck with us and to have us all separated and in places that we didn't belong frequentially. And if you know anything about Sagittarius energy is about establishing borders. So you cannot go out into the world and be who you are if you don't define your own boundaries, right? Because when you have your own personal philosophy, as Sagittarius calls for you to have, you must protect it, meaning that you are not at that level going to allow yourself to be in the company of people who doubt you, people who will take you off your path, people who make you question your soul's purpose. You will put up the correct boundaries and barriers to protect your energy from all external energies that desire to pull you out of your truth. Now, none of us were doing that before. We were actually courting all of the energies, going to all of the parties where we could sacrifice our truth to get ahead, right? In different ways, because we didn't know any better. We didn't know any better. We were just trying to get along. We were trying to survive. So they tell us you're supposed to go to school and you're supposed to go to university. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. And we did it because we thought that's what was going to ultimately establish us and make us happy. And in that, every time we made a decision to go against ourselves or to do something that we were directed to do that had nothing to do with what we were actually here for, we were opening up our borders all the more. And so this year, 2025, in one of the Sagittarian themes is like defining your boundaries and your borders in order to protect your truth, your identity, right? Because Virgo's big on the protection. Virgo's that energy that's like, fuck a bunch of this. I will be alone. I will be fucking alone before I entertain the toxicity again, right? That's a Virgo energy. So many of y'all know, y'all been in hermit mode for years, or intermittently for years, because the fuck shit was real. It's like when everyone's like false identity, mask, persona, everything was falling apart and nobody knew who the fuck they were. And some people just never knew how to control their energy and had no desire to really learn how to come under the authority of self. And so, all of these projections, wounds, everything's been flying free, for the past couple of years. So it's just like, fuck this. If I gotta die an old spinster with 12 cats, shit, that life is looking real good right about now, because this apocalypse, man, it's just like, but that was necessary, right? That was necessary. And so Virgo is that energy that says, yep, pull it in. Pull it in. But at the same time, we're not here to live in hermit mode. We're here to always revert to hermit mode when we need to do some self-calibration work that enables us to go out into Libra. Right, to go out into the world, to have intimate relationships, to forge business partnerships, to have friendships, to do all of that, right? So this is very much the energy of now, what we're getting ready for and what this new moon tonight is assisting us in doing. And now we're going to bring it in to be more new moon centric. So we got both the sun and the moon occurring at 9 degrees Capricorn tonight. Yes. And at 43 minutes. So that's 7-7 energy. I've been seeing a lot of 7-7 energy, a lot of Saturnian energy flying right now too, as things are brought into order. Of course, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So Saturn's just like, yep, this is me, you know, like, just in case you didn't know, I'm running the show right now with the 7-7 energy of the minutes of the sun and the moon, right? So, and not for nothing, beautiful 4 and 3, that's Emperor and Empress energy. That's the uniting, the marriage of masculine and feminine energy, right? So whether that's within yourself or within, you know, what we call divine counterparts and divine unions, there is a certain divine order that is coming back onto the earth planes to make that happen. And I say on the earth planes very specifically because Capricorn is the cardinal earth sign of the zodiac wheel. I believe it's the last earth sign on the zodiac wheel. Yeah, because we have Aquarius and Pisces after. So yeah, the final earth sign on the zodiac wheel. And Capricorn, if you've been with me for a while, you know that Cancer and Capricorn are the sister signs that are responsible for the collective frequency on the planet. It happens through Cancer and Capricorn, also known as like the Tropic of Cancer, the Tropic of Capricorn on either side of the equator. And it's through the Cancer and Capricorn. When the sun enters those signs at 0 degrees, we have the solstices. Okay, so they are, the Cancer and Capricorn are the sister signs that establish the frequency on the earth planes that make the material timelines that we bring through possible. Okay, so yes, Capricorn is about the materialization of the earth's frequency, or on a personal level, the materialization of your personal frequency. The timelines that you birth materially come through Capricorn. Your agreements with the earth, we all have agreements with the earth. They are satisfied through Capricorn. So when I say we have agreements with the earth supports you in your soul purpose. The universe supports you in your soul purpose. So whatever it is that you chose to come here to do on a soul level, when you do that, you enhance the earth. So your agreement on the earth was to come here and to live in accordance with who you are, to live harmoniously and in union with self. Because as you do that, you are in direct communion with Source. And as you do that, you are bringing that harmony onto the earth planes, that source energy onto the earth planes, and you are treating all things that are your reflection, including other people, other animals, and the earth herself with the same level of esteem that you have for yourself. The false matrix taught you to not esteem yourself, but that was never the ultimate plan. When you love yourself, Virgo, when you look after yourself, when you choose to live in accordance with your soul's purpose, you are satisfying the agreements or the contracts you have on the earth planes. When you live away from yourself, in accordance with the programs, you are satisfying the karmic contracts that the false matrix wants you bound to. Okay? So let's break down what this looks like in the cards. Okay, so the sun in Capricorn at 9 degrees, that's the sun card, that's the devil card, and the 2 of Pentacles. The moon card, the devil card, and the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, so the 2 of Pentacles is the first card of Capricorn in the minor arcana. The 2, 3, and 4 of Pentacles are Capricorn cards. The 2 of Pentacles is when an energy first begins to break into material existence. So here we have now something's about to break into material existence. What is that? Well, I believe it is your justice timelines. I believe it is your opportunity to live freely as yourself on the earth planes. We've been fighting for it. We've been talking about it. We've been sensing it from time to time. And now it wants to break through materially in a more monumental way than it's been able to, because we've reached the point of ascension where it is time. Okay, so the 9 degrees, of course, as I've been talking about before, it's also Hermit energy, and it's an astrological degree of Sagittarius. Okay, so we're also being shown that something is ending. Now, because it's a new moon, the bigger focus needs to be the newness, but we can't completely ignore that the prevalence of the number 9 shows us that something monumental is ending. And what is that? Well, in my opinion, what is ending is a lot of the purging and the clearing of things that have been in flux since the full moon in Capricorn in 2022. And I do believe we have another year of this energy, because not everyone has fully come to terms with what it is they need to come to terms with to rise into their new earth timelines when it comes to the karmic family structures of the false matrix that were designed to make you suffer and miss your opportunity to fulfill your soul contract. That was the purpose of karmic family. Are all families karmic in nature? Not necessarily. Karma is something that is born when we make choices that go against our soul's truth and go against other beings and the contracts we have with them. So at every opportunity, we all have the possibility to have been born into situations where everyone chose to rise into their divinity and choose the divine contracts. But we were living in a time where a lot of that wasn't happening, and so the majority of us were born very specifically because of what needed to be accomplished into bloodlines with very, very dense karma. Okay, and we were there to be a light to those beings so that they could overcome their own karmic struggles, and they were supposed to be a light to us so we could overcome our own karmic struggles. Or if you came here and you're not necessarily here because of karmic struggles, you could do your job in clearing the karma on behalf of that line. But those lines are also full of entities that many beings welcome and allow to flow through them, that were at every opportunity thwarting your ability. Now, again, if you've been with me for a while, you'll know that the download I got was that in the full moon in 2022 brought an end to karmic family contracts. Now, just because it's ending, the contract ends, it doesn't mean that it's suddenly everything shifts in the material. A contract ends spiritually, and then what happens is that the material truth of what that contract was holding up begins to manifest for you to wake up and see the truth of what that contract was. So then you, of your own volition, can decide whether you're going to move away from all things concerning what kept you bound in that karmic contract. And it's not only to do with the people, but it's to do with all of the programming, the mindsets, and the wounding that you now hold in your energy field because you've been such a long time participant in the fuckery and you didn't even know. So the past 2 years have been about bringing a lot of this shit to the light so that you could heal through it, you could see it, and you could make a decision to choose yourself, Virgo, right? To choose yourself and to allow them also to heal so they can choose themselves too and break themselves out of the karmic contracts also. So I say all of that because today's new moon in Capricorn is going to be about the materialization of those decisions we've made in that 2-year cycle, in that 2-year period since the contracts in the spirit were done. Okay? And I'm not a person who believes in fear mongering that goes against everything that enables you to live harmoniously with yourself and on the earth. So please, when I say these things, don't ever believe that I'm saying that there's a deadline. There's no deadline. When these energies come in, if you're already ready to go, they're going to help you move very rapidly. But where you're still missing things is where these energies help you now to see also. Okay, so this is the dual effect of what's happening in tonight's new moon. And the new moons are taking us into the new year, as well as when the nodes shift also, is many of you are going to have the opportunity to begin to materialize higher timelines, justice timelines, based upon your ability to clear yourself of those karmic contracts in a way that satisfies your own soul. But many people will also only now be waking up to many of the things that you've been seeing that helped you to get to this point. And here's the beautiful thing about that, because many of y'all are way showers, meaning that you go through these energies before they're popular. Right? So the beautiful thing about that is that as other people begin to wake up, because you've gone ahead and you've cleared the collective consciousness of the densities that kept people from seeing things before, when they see, they'll be able to rise a lot quicker than you were able to, which is a beautiful thing because it helps to pull us on the earth planes into a higher level of harmony together. Okay, so I was on Instagram Threads a few days ago, and I was reading another astrologer or energy reader was saying that she predicts that there will be many, divorces in 2025, divorces that you would have never seen coming. Right? And that's because people are finally, so much of the programming around love and relationships in the false matrix was quantum entanglement, and people have been keeping themselves from moving forward in their soul's purpose. They haven't been able to evolve in accordance with what they actually came here to do, because they've been so busy sacrificing themselves for things that aren't even right for them, but because the false matrix said it was, or because they got used to it, or because they shared a mortgage or children, or whatever the reason is why people choose to stay with people who are not actually ultimately the best for them, it's going to become a lot more clear, because a lot of these beings have been karmically holding one another back, even if at times it appeared that everything was hunky-dory and they had all the trappings of what the false matrix likes to pretend is success. On a soul level, they've been languishing. And that energy is going to become more magnified within themselves and within their unions in 2025 too. Okay, so moving swiftly along, Mercury, or not so swiftly, Mercury, I kind of owe you guys like a long ranting kind of video, considering I skipped the full moon in Gemini. So Mercury in Sagittarius at 18 degrees. So Mercury is talking to us. Mercury, of course, was in retrograde until, like maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, the 16th of December, Mercury, I think, went direct, the 15th or the 15th of December. Mercury, on the full moon in Gemini, Mercury went station to go direct, I believe. So now they, he, Mercury and Uranus are pretty, and Jupiter, are pretty gender fluid when they come through for me. So Mercury now is like moving through Sagittarius, right? So behind the sun and the moon, so still giving us the lessons we need to set us up for 2025. Again, echoing that number 9 with the 18 degrees. 1 + 8 breaks down to 9. So Mercury is the magician, Sagittarius is temperance, so we already see that something is being balanced. Right? Something's being balanced between the spirit and the water. Sagittarius is also very much about the calibration of the emotional fields, the purification of the emotional fields by fire. Okay, so the fire experience comes through like the Virgo, Libra, Scorpio time, but Sagittarius then helps us to purge our systems of that which has to go in order for us to rise higher into our cosmological truth. So the best way I can explain this is, in the natural, if you're making a soup, right? For example, you got to skim the scum off the top. If you're dealing with like, especially like you're making bone broth, for example, as you boil the bones and you get all the good minerals and stuff out of it, you got to clear the scum that comes off the top, right? That's the refining, purifying process. In Ascension, every time you get activated higher, you must shift all of the densities and the crap that can no longer be in your fields or in your life. And Sagittarius is that energy that helps you to be able to do that. Scorpio takes you through that transformation, the birth and the death, the letting go, the receiving, you know. And then Sagittarius says, okay, great, now let's clear out of your fields that which cannot go, since you've been so deeply activated. So again, Mercury is helping us to alchemize a lot of what it is that we have been learning so far, especially since the 888 portal, Virgo season. Mercury is helping us through Sagittarius to clear out of our emotional fields that which needs to go, and very specifically your emotional fields, because your emotional fields, the emotional planes, are connected to the element of water. All things are birthed through water. If your emotional energies are murky, if they're full of wounds, trauma, all of that stuff, you are not able, or not even full of wounds and trauma, but full of your attachment to those things, then you are not able to birth the material timelines that match your higher truth. So it's really important that we learn how to make peace with the old stories in order to birth new ones. And Sagittarius is that energy that helps us to do that. So Mercury is still talking to us about what it is we need to do, where it is we need to look at, what it is we need to let go of. You know, mindsets that cater to our attachment to our suffering. We are attached to our suffering, not because that's how we're supposed to be, but because that's what we were programmed to believe. We were programmed to believe that we can't have anything good unless we suffer for it. Every message you got in the false matrix told you that you don't get to have this if you don't suffer, if you don't toil. They even made love out to be painful, and that's all bullshit. You didn't come here to suffer. You didn't come here to toil. You didn't come here to be in fake-ass dysfunctional relationships that they call love and be told that you have to sacrifice who you are and live in pain states because that's love. That's not love. That's dysfunction, distortion, sometimes even abuse. It's all manner of things, but it's not love. Okay, now in love, there will be conflict, there will be, all manner of things because we're human beings also. But there's not that perpetual, fuckery. The perpetual, cycles of fuckery where so many people are, not showing up as themselves because they can't. If you're in any relationship and you can't show up as you are, that is not, love has not yet been established. Okay? That doesn't mean all the time that things are devoid of love. It just means that if you want love to be cemented, you must show up as you are. Because how is anyone supposed to love you unconditionally if they don't know you? How is anyone supposed to love you unconditionally if you don't love yourself unconditionally too? When we show up and we wear masks and personas and we do all of that, what we're actually saying is, I don't think as I am, you can love me. So let me put on a persona and pretend so that you can love a fake version of me. And then I'm going to wonder why I feel so alone in this relationship. I feel unseen. I feel unheard. Because on the inside, you are who you are, but on the outside, you've put on this whole show, and it doesn't even have to be a big horse and pony show. It's like it's the tiniest, most insidious ways we've been taught to self-betray and to shift ourselves to fit other people's desires, especially women, right? To fit other people's desires, to fit other people's idea of who it is we need to be, all for acceptance and survival. And we are shedding even more of those stories, shedding even more of those thoughts that connect us with this idea that I have to suffer. I have to struggle and toil in order to have money. I have to make myself less than in order to have love or to be accepted in a group. No. Like I said to a beautiful soul recently, I said to him, you're a fucking unicorn. You're a unicorn, and you were hanging out around horses, and you were begging the horses to see how beautiful you were as a unicorn when they can't appreciate that level of beauty. When really what you needed to do was walk away from them horses and be like, okay, horses, you are not at the level where you're able to connect with me, right? So I need to go and find me some unicorns, who will mirror back to me the truth of who I am, won't be threatened, and will also see it because they see it in themselves, right? So a lot of what we've been doing through the false quantum entanglement programs of the Matrix is we've been masking, pretending to be something we're not, and then trying to prove ourselves in order to get our needs met. And there's no more of that, not in love, not in work, not in anything, not if you intend on living in accordance with these new earth timelines. Venus is in Aquarius at 26 degrees. I love this. Venus is helping us rewrite the rules in love. That's what I just heard. Venus has been helping us rewrite the rules of love. So many fucking rules that we've been told are here for how we are supposed to love our lives. If you do this, I promise you, you'll love your life. If you lose weight, I promise you, you'll love your life. If you get this bag, I promise you, this is the bag of all bags that's going to make you love your life. If you eat this food, I swear it's going to change your life so much that you love it. Okay. If you go to this concert, if you visit this place, if you stay in this hotel, if you go to this club, if you wear this perfume, if you buy this dress or this outfit, if you fuck this person, I promise you, no. No, no, no. And Venus is here like, get your priorities right, especially in this Capricorn energy, because not for nothing, Aquarius is also co-ruled by Saturn, right? So it's like, get your priorities right, people. Chop, chop. Get your priorities right. What is it that you truly desire? What is it that you really want for you? Not because you've been told you need to have it, but because it's for you. It's what's going to make your soul sing, and therefore truly open the door to helping you live a life you love. Come on, what is it? Let's rewrite the rules. Let's write the rules in accordance with your soul's purpose, your soul's truth. Time to take a look at all the rules you've been following that don't cater to your ability to live in accordance with your soul's truth and your soul's wisdom and your soul's path. Like, we've been so deeply fucking programmed that the things we've been programmed about, we don't even fucking question. We don't even fucking question, because why would we question it? But this is the water. These are the waters that we're entering into now, especially with 2025, where every single thing that's been a program is going to be available to be seen for what it is if you have, the eyes to see, the ears to hear, the heart that wants to understand what it actually is, because everything you were told was a lie. Everything. And if everything was a lie, that's actually not a terrible thing, because it means that now, hooray, you can write your own fucking story on your own terms. But you have to first come to terms with the fact that everything you've been told was a lie. Everything you were told, it was a program. You didn't come here to do anything but to learn how to live your infinite consciousness in the material planes, and to explore that, and to enjoy that, and to your exchange, your agreement with the earth was to do that, to bring a deeper sense of harmony on the earth planes. Because when you do that, that is your work. showing up as you are, creating on your own terms. That's your contribution. So when we're chasing things that aren't in alignment, no matter how pretty those things are, if they're not in alignment with who we are and what we came here to actually do, then we are actually sowing more karma onto the earth. And we're sowing more karma into our own realities first and foremost. Right? So the more that we're able to live dharmically, the more the earth is also at peace. Which is why they needed you at war with yourself, so that they could create the constant war timelines and the war zones. The war zones they first created were not in the Middle East or any other part of the world. They were in you. They were in you. They were in me. Okay, so Venus is the Empress. Oh, we didn't do the tarot breakdown for Mercury. So Mercury is the Magician. We did a little bit. Mercury is the Magician. Sagittarius is the Temperance. I didn't get to the 18 degrees, which is the 9 of Wands. This is the generational curse breaker. I don't want to pull anyone back into that narrative of being a generational curse breaker. Your role as that person in your family line is long over, but you are still materializing the timelines, the justice timelines that must come forth from you having been that. Because the generational curse breakers, you're not only breaking generational curses in your bloodline, you're breaking ancestral blocks on the earth planes too. And that's what we're getting ready to kind of bear witness to collectively on a more material level. And that's what Mercury is speaking through the 9 of Wands for me also. So Venus, the Empress, Aquarius is the Star, and also the Fool to a lesser extent. And the 26 degrees of Aquarius is the 7 of Swords. Right? The 7 of Swords. So, the 7 of Swords. This is also about, again, like it's the same message that's coming through. It's 33 minutes on that too. I've been getting a lot of 3-3 energy, especially today, because today is, of course, the 3-3 portal. But Venus is in Aquarius at 26 degrees and 33 minutes, which is why I'm bringing it up. It's the sneaky programs that rope us into collective ways of thinking that have had us not fully in alignment with truth and more in alignment with our rules that create more suffering. And Venus is definitely having us question all the rules we've made or all the rules we've come into agreement with that actually just create suffering when that's not what we actually came here to do. Because really, you create what you believe. If you've been given a set of rules to live by and you believe in those rules, that's what you're going to create. So if the false matrix tells you that, you're supposed to die and that this is a sickness and this is a something and this is a something else, you will create that because that's how powerful you are. And if we do it collectively, there's even more power in that. So again, we are being challenged to look at every story and every story that we have co-signed on and what we're going to believe is possible for ourselves. Okay, Venus wants you to really start looking at the rules that you make for yourself regarding love, regarding beauty, regarding pleasure, regarding whether you think that in order to have any of those things you must first suffer. Do you have to earn rest? I'm asking you because I know that's something I still gotta break in myself. A lot of the time I feel like if I haven't done something, I don't deserve to sleep. I don't deserve to sleep if I didn't do this much. I'm not productive enough. I'm not grinding enough. And that's bullshit. That's bullshit. I deserve to sleep because I'm a fucking human, and every single day we need to recharge ourselves, period, point blank. Whether you did nothing all day or whether you know, I don't know, like built a building, or, you know, put together, like signed the biggest contract of your life. It doesn't matter. On any given day, you don't earn sleep based upon what you do. You know, that's a limited thinking that we were programmed into. Another way to think that we have to suffer to earn the things that are our birthrights. So much of what is our birthrights, we've been brainwashed into thinking we have to earn, and that's bullshit. And Venus wants to help you remember that. Okay, so we have Mars in Leo still, retrograding in Leo at the 2-degree mark of Leo. So this is the Tower, this is the Sun and the Strength card, and the 2-degree mark is the 5 of Wands. So Mars is helping us to come to terms right now with a lot of the residue, you could say, the residue from childhood wounding, the residue from the wounding from the previous golden age, the residue of everything we've been through this year. Mars is challenging us in all ways where that Leo energy has been hurt, you could say, you know. And so 2024, it was a year that connected us to Leo and Scorpio energy, and especially Leo, because this was the year where we were clearing out the matrix energy, the bed, the foundational bed upon which the false matrix was built, which entered through the previous golden age, which was the age of Leo. So we were dealing with those timelines. We were dealing with clearing those out in ourselves and collectively. And this is like another, Mars is moving through this energy again to help us to continue to do that. And we'll do that until it goes forward again, and we'll move through Leo again. Okay, so the 2-degree mark is connected to the High Priestess. It's Taurus energy. It's really, for me, what I'm picking up here, it's all the ways, come in. Sorry. It's all the ways, well, really, it's all the ways we were programmed out of our true value through the child exploitation programs of the false matrix. And if you've been chilling with me for a while, you'll know I've said it and I'll say it again. The false matrix was designed to constantly exploit and to wound children. And really what it came down to, it was designed to exploit and wound our innocence. Okay, and Pisces is the doorway back into our innocence. North Node will be in Pisces in a month's time, right? It's the doorway back into our innocence, right? But Leo deals with the wounding that happens to our heart as we are learning about who we are in the world, growing up, the wounding that occurs that takes us away from ourselves and causes us to lose our innocence. And a lot of that has to do with the programs and the systems that we were led to believe were the right things for us. But the false matrix liked to wound us as children and then exploit those wounds for the purpose of capitalism. So in other words, people who are secure in themselves are not good consumers. Only people who think they need something else to be more, to be better, because they're not enough as they are good consumers. So they must tear you apart psychologically so they can produce the consumer mentality they need in you, so by the time you're an adult with spending power, they can exploit that. And it begins in childhood. So we're clearing that up because this also is all in alignment with these stories of I have to suffer. I have to suffer to have anything. You know, that was instilled in us from the time we were children on purpose to make you a good consumer, right? So Mars is dealing with us with all the ways that we're still compliant with that energy. We're still complicit in any way, you know. So Mars is fighting in the collective energies too. You'll notice that even, like things are shifting. things are shifting. The way of treating us like cattle, it's shifting. It might not be shifting fast enough for you, but there are a lot of changes that are occurring, that 2025, it's going to begin to show you a lot more what's been happening beneath, behind the scenes, that we haven't been seeing, but we've been, intuiting and feeling. Now, Jupiter is still retrograding. It's in Gemini at 13 degrees. So Jupiter is the wheel of fortune. Gemini is the lovers. 13 degrees of Gemini is the, let me think of this, the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords. 13, of course, is a degree of, it's a degree of Aries astrologically, but it's connected to Scorpio, energy of the death card in the tarot. Okay, so Jupiter is expanding us. That's what Jupiter does. Jupiter is helping us to expand our minds, continues to help us to expand our minds as it makes its way through Gemini. It's retrograding. So at this 13 degree mark, in conjunction with the energy we have going on right now, this is the death of a lot of the mental programming that had us stuck in thinking in ways that were not conducive to our power. With this 13 degree energy, Nine of Swords energy, still retrograding, right? Still showing us, bringing us into places of remembrance. When the planets are retrograding, they're often taking us back into where a lot of these things were established to begin with. Nothing just comes out of thin air. Everything that you are is a result of energies that have been built over time and repetition. And repetition of the energy, repetition of the cycle, repetition of the behavior, repetition of the person, whether it's, the energy or the character of the person in a different meat suit. Where you got to and how you think about yourself is a succession of energies that have built over many years and in many cases, many lifetimes. And so Jupiter is helping you to expand and to put to death a lot of those programs, but it's taking you back to it's taking you back to a lot of the genesis points. And the genesis points might be from this lifetime. The genesis points might be from other lifetimes. This has really been a time where many people are tuning into those timelines from other lifetimes where the original programming entered that created the cycles of trauma that you weren't able to get over in other lifetimes, hence the reason why it became a lesson in this one. So Jupiter is helping in that regard. I think I'm going to end it here. I don't really like to go too deeply into, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, unless I feel very drawn to. I don't feel it tonight, only because they're such slow moving energies that the themes are constantly, they're the same for a very long time. So I will tell you though that Uranus is at the 23 degree mark, which is cool because 23 is a degree of Aquarius and Uranus is the co-ruling planet of this age. So Uranus is helping us, just like I was saying with the Mercury in Sagittarius and even Jupiter in Gemini. Uranus is coming in to help us expand the way that we see our value in Taurus. It's to expand us so that we help to rise into the authentic story about who we are and our value, because this is what creates a true value system. If you don't value yourself, then we as a collective, if we don't value ourselves individually, then we build and are susceptible to being exploited by false value systems that in their hierarchy create the pyramid schemes where there's one or two beings at the top living, their best lives while everyone else is struggling to pay for that. And that's not how it was supposed to be, because this earth is bountiful. There was always more than enough for everyone to live harmoniously and to live prosperously. But the only reason that kind of value system has been allowed to magnify in our realities is because we've had such a poor sense of self-worth, and so we therefore have fed that energy and the fake value system. And so all of these, the planets in their own ways, are helping us to come to terms with that, so that we can raise the estimation of who we are in accordance with the truth, and align with the value, our true value, so we can bring onto the earth a new and a truer value system, because we value self. And when you value self, you will value others, you will value the earth that sustains you. And this is why I say that your agreements with the earth have everything to do with your ability to value yourself and to live in harmony with self. Because when you're doing that, you are actually growing that in the collective energy, which also means that we're sowing that into the earth. Because the ultimate legacy, and this is Virgo energy, Virgo is very big on creating legacy, true legacy. The ultimate legacy is that you leave the earth in a better place than you found it, because you've been here. True legacy is when you leave the earth in a better state than you found it, simply because you existed. And say it one more time again. True legacy is that you leave the earth in a better state than you found it, purely because you existed. Purely because you existed. And so therefore, the more you live in accordance with who you are, your soul's purpose and your truth, the greater a legacy you leave behind. You leave something for those who are coming after you. And sometimes that will materialize into things like wealth or, initiatives, but it doesn't always have to, right? So it's 10:15. We are 11 minutes out from the new moon. I'm going to end this now. So I wish you guys all a beautiful new moon in Capricorn. I wish you a very happy new year. At the time of recording, I think I have one more slot for any person who is interested in personal guidance for 2025 one-to-one with me. It's a 45-minute reading. You can find all that information on my Ko-Fi. I will put that also in the description box below and in the comments section if you would like to have that space, if it's still available. Please make sure to check out my website, especially in the next day or so. I will be releasing, what it's going to be like to spend the year with me, a year with Solara. And there are many different possibilities and opportunities that will be available for you to work with me, for some of you to work very closely with me, if you would like to make that commitment for the year, for accountability, partnership, coaching. I will be offering that to a select few. I think there will only be 5 slots available for that, and all information will be on solara.xyz. And when that is published, I will put it on the community boards so you know, because the number 9 year, 2025, it is a year where the ultimate investment has to be in self, in what it is you need in order to rise into your truth. It's more important than ever. Okay, so however that looks for you, do it. Okay, if working with me is going to help you in that endeavor and you're able to do it, that's going to be on offer. But more importantly than that, investing in self, in your ability to rise into your power, is the key in 2025. Okay, so I just want to take an opportunity to thank each and every one of you for being here. Thank you for all the ways you've contributed to my life, to my journey. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you to those of you who followed me over to Substack and now have followed me over to solara.xyz. I so appreciate, the camaraderie and the community that has been built in my time being here. And I'm so looking forward to, building that even more on solara.xyz, because it's not a site that I plan on being just for me, but it really is somewhere where I desire to forge community and to allow, all of you who have a voice, gifts, the desire to express creatively what you've been divinely sent here to do, to give you the stage to do that also in a way that feels safer than these, these platforms, whatever you want to call them at this point. But anyway, so that's my desire for the platform, and I will be launching it more officially in 2025, and taking on more of those initiatives. So you're welcome to join me there ahead of time. I'm already there, publishing the writing side of that. So Daily Alchemy will be moving exclusively there very soon also. So if you've enjoyed the Daily Alchemy posts that have been on pause for like the week and a half, they'll be back on the 1st of January. If you enjoyed that, I suggest you go over and you sign up on solara.xyz, because you will get those messages directly to your mailbox every single morning. Because like I said, and they'll still be free, but like I said, I am pulling a lot of my energy and my divine resources out of these energy harvesting platforms to build something that actually means something to me. And I do believe it's time for us to, create in accordance with what we want the new earth to look like. So anyway, I wish you guys a happy new moon in Capricorn. Happy New Year. I will see you guys, in 2 weeks for the full moon in Cancer. Be well.